Long ago, in a peaceful kingdom, there lived a sweet and gentle girl named Cinderella. Her name was given to her because she often sat near the fireplace, and the ashes, or cinders, would cling to her clothes. Cinderella's life had not always been filled with hardship. When she was a child, she lived happily with her loving parents in a beautiful home. But fate was unkind. Her mother passed away, and her father remarried, hoping to give his daughter a new family.
The woman he married, however, was proud and cruel, with two daughters of her own. When Cinderella's father also died, her stepmother revealed her true nature. She forced Cinderella to do all the housework, scrubbing floors, cooking meals, washing clothes, while her stepsisters spent their days admiring themselves in mirrors and wearing fine dresses. Though treated unfairly, Cinderella never complained. She remained kind, humble, and gentle, even toward those who mistreated her. One day, news spread throughout the land that the king was hosting a grand ball at the palace in honor of the prince. All the young women of the kingdom were invited, for the prince was seeking a bride. Cinderella's heart leapt with hope. She longed to see the palace, the music, the lights, the joy of dancing. But her stepmother laughed cruelly when she expressed her wish.
You go to the ball, look at you, no gown, no jewels, no carriage. Stay at home and be thankful we even allow you to breathe the same air as us. Her stepsisters were thrilled. They spent days choosing gowns of silk and satin and had Cinderella help them dress, lace their corsets, and curl their hair. When the night of the ball arrived, the stepmother and her daughters left the house in a glittering carriage, leaving Cinderella behind in rags, tears streaming down her face. As she wept in the garden, a soft glow surrounded her. From the light appeared a gentle woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Why are you crying, child?" asked the woman. "I wish to go to the ball," Cinderella whispered, "but I have nothing. No gown, no carriage, nothing at all. The woman touched Cinderella's cheek and said, "I am your fairy godmother, and tonight you shall go to the ball." With a wave of her wand, she transformed a pumpkin into a magnificent golden carriage. 6 mice became handsome white horses, a rat became the coachman, and lizards became footmen. Then, with another wave, Cinderella's rags shimmered and turned into a gown of silver and gold, sparkling as though it were woven from starlight. On her feet appeared delicate glass slippers, shining brighter than diamonds. "Go, my dear," said the fairy godmother, "but remember at midnight, the spell will break, and everything will return to what it was before. Cinderella promised to remember and set off for the palace in the magical carriage. The grand ball. When Cinderella entered the palace, the entire hall fell silent. The prince himself stopped in awe. Never had anyone seen such grace and beauty. He approached her and asked for a dance, ignoring all the other maidens who eagerly waited for his attention. Cinderella and the prince danced all evening. She laughed with him, spoke kindly, and carried herself with a natural grace that won everyone's admiration. But as the clock began to strike midnight, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's warning. Without a word, she fled the palace, racing down the grand staircase. In her haste, one of her glass slippers slipped from her foot, but she dared not stop to retrieve it. The prince ran after her, but she vanished into the night just as the final chime of midnight rang, leaving behind only the sparkling slipper. The next day, the prince declared that he would marry no one but the maiden whose foot fit the glass slipper. He traveled throughout the kingdom with his attendants, visiting every house. When they reached Cinderella's home, the stepsisters eagerly tried on the slipper, but their feet were far too large. The stepmother insisted they try again, forcing and squeezing, but nothing worked. Then the prince asked if there were any other young women in the house. The stepmother tried to hide Cinderella, but she stepped forward shyly. The moment she sat down and placed her foot in the slipper, it fit perfectly, as though it were made for her alone. The prince's eyes lit up with joy. "You are the one I have been searching for," he exclaimed. At that moment, Cinderella's fairy godmother appeared once more and with a wave of her wand, transformed Cinderella's clothes back into the shimmering gown she had worn at the ball. Happily ever after. The prince knew then without a doubt that she was his true bride. He took Cinderella to the palace, where they were married in a grand celebration attended by the entire kingdom. Though her stepsisters begged for forgiveness, Cinderella, with her kind heart, forgave them. From that day forward, she lived happily with her prince, proving that kindness, patience, and goodness always triumph over cruelty and greed. And so, Cinderella's story became one of the most beloved tales of all time. The end.